Sprints. Grip Sprints is the most effective shoe-to-court traction solution on the market. I've tried a lot of different traction products over the last 28 years and can say with 100% certainty that Grip Sprints is the best. We don't only use Grip Sprints with our athletes, but also with my students in our physical education classes. Enter RBCN10 when purchasing Grip Sprints products, and you'll receive a 10% discount and free shipping. Are you kidding me? In 2025, free shipping? Yep. Contact Grip Sprints via their website and enter code RBCN10, and you'll get 10% discount and free shipping for the best shoe-to-court traction solution on the market.
Derek Sheridan from Rust Belt Basketball Coaches Network, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We have episode 11 of our season update coaches show featuring a Michigan legend, the head coach of the Flat Rock Rams, Coach Rick Smith. Coach's team is currently 14-8 and 11-3 in the Huron League, and Coach is going to give us the lowdown. And there he is. There's his best buddy.
Doggy, sorry.
Yeah, no, don't be. You will probably see a few of the felines you have met previously at the Sheridan estate. So,
well,
Coach is going to give us...
They're probably hanging out with Stephanie, which I don't blame them.
Nor do I. The coach is going to give us the lowdown on Flat Rock basketball. And, Coach, thank you so much for joining us this evening. And I know this is a crazy busy point of the year, so thank you for donating some time to the Rust Belt Basketball Coaches Network. And let's start off with you telling us about your team.
Well, Team 94, we finished the season 14-8. We finished, unfortunately, second in our league. We went into the last game of the year at Riverview High School, who has got a solid program this year, solid team, I should say, that, they won our league. We thought going in, 2 losses might win it, and 3 could maybe tie it, and they had 2. So that's kind of where we're at. And for the most part, I think for us was we had some major injuries all year, and I hate to use that as an excuse, but we had 3 guys, and I think Derek, you were you saw 3 guys sitting on the sidelines, ACL, a wrist injury, and one with some other physical injuries, but those 3 guys really were 3 athletic guys that would have really made a difference. But having said that, man, we went into the last game of the year, had a chance to win our league, or at least share the league title. And, we didn't. And, what we do at Flat Rock is we play a really, really tough schedule. If anybody were to look at our score, Friday, we played River Rouge, who has a history of I think 11 or 12 state championships. And we played them at our place for the second time, and got blitzed pretty bad, honestly. But and that's what we do. We play a really difficult schedule, and so our record doesn't indicate, honestly, how good we can be and will be coming playoffs next week.
Flat Rock is not a big school, so when you have 3 injuries of difference makers on your team, that's not an excuse. That's a reason. An excuse for someone not wanting to walk up the stairs because they don't want to walk up the stairs is an excuse. When they have been shot in the calf and can't walk up the stairs, that is a reason.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, we're 475 kids, and I think about that. Half are, less than half are boys. And, for us to be successful at Flat Rock, we definitely need, our athletes playing 2-3 sports, and which we do. And
I love it.
I think we all can be in agreement. The more sports you play and listening to different coaches and what they're telling you and using different muscles, I think there's been, Derek, you're a phys ed teacher, and you know 100% what I'm saying regarding using different muscles to keep you injury free. And, we're fortunate that we have that, and we have great relationships with our football coaches, our basketball coaches, and track and whatever sport they're playing. And I'm actually looking forward to playing a couple of guys that on our basketball team that play golf, and I'm hoping I can take a couple quarters from them this summer.
Well, I'd like to be involved in that since you and
We'll
I
make
would have.
that work. But I've
Yeah, and
seen you play.
I want to go to Carrington again. That was
I'm
a
just
great
kidding.
day. Gosh, was it hot that day? Holy mackerel, was it hot? But my gosh, did we have a good time?
We had a great time, and buddy, it was a warm day, and I can tell you, I sweated in spots that we don't want to talk about.
One of the things I really respect about you, even more so than the multitude of Coach of the Year awards you've won, which is 8 by my count, which is unreal.
Well, I started coaching in 1980, so it shows you.
Which
Yeah,
is
I'm
a
64, but I started young. And I did I learned a lot. I went seventh grade, eighth grade, ninth grade. I learned a lot, and I didn't just jump in right into the varsity or JV level and think I knew it all. So and it was a different era. I get it. Nowadays, um, younger guys get in, and there's so much information out now that some coaches are prepared,
Well,
but
let me ask you this. This is a topic that we talk about a lot on the Rust Belt Coaches Network. Would you be in agreement with my statement that your development as a coach, working for other head coaches and moving up the chain and learning from the mistakes that young coaches make at the junior high level supersedes anything they can find on a DVD or on a coaching video, which these young kids now really like to watch things, they don't like to leave their house. They don't go to clinics anymore.
right.
But when you learn how to cut your teeth, when you cut your teeth learning on the fly underneath coaches who take care of you at the sixth, seventh, eighth grade, ninth grade, and JV level, you learn from those mistakes. And then when you get to the varsity level, you're not making those mistakes. Would you be in agreement that that supersedes anything that you could learn online?
Oh my God, Derek, you're 100% spot on. When I was a younger coach, I sat with, and these are coaches that I won't bring up their names, but I sat, having beers or whatever, and having pizzas and stuff, and just listening to other coaches because you know what? I didn't have the answers. I didn't know. I wanted to learn. So I learned from older guys that won state championships that have gyms named after them. And I sat there and listened. These are guys that were my coaches in high school that were successful. And, okay, younger guys, you're going to do your thing. You're going to, learn, watch a set play on coffees and X's and O's, whatever website you're watching. I get it. And those are some great plays. But those things are so on. There's no touching on it. There's no talking with another coach about it. You're just learning something online, and you're going to write it on a piece of paper, and that's it, and bring it into practice. There's no conversation between another coach about the technique of it, or how you're going to teach it, and how are you going to, do square up. Those fundamental things that we learned, that you break it down, and um, the relationships that you develop um, in those things.
As a young coach coaching a sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade team, you make a mistake in how you filled out your scorebook, per se, or you make a boneheaded mistake in a special situation scenario, and you learn those things then at that level. And that's part of the preparation process for you moving up the ladder. And that's the kind of stuff that used to be an expectation. And now we've got coaches who are jumping right into the high school level, whether it be JV or varsity even, and they make those errors. And now when you make those errors, everybody is not expecting that because you're a JV or a varsity coach and you've got a different set of expectations compared to being at junior high. When you're a young coach at the junior high level, most parents who have any sort of cognitive ability understand what's going on here. Okay, this is a young coach and there's probably going to be some mistakes made, and that's part of the process.
Yeah, agreed 100%. If you don't have a little bit of adversity when you're a young coach, instead of just jumping in right into a JV or varsity situation after a few years, um, the there's nothing that you can rely or fall back on if you didn't have some failure early as a young coach. If you jump into a varsity or JV position and all of a sudden the parents are on you, or your team's just not playing very well, or you know what, sometimes your team's just not very good, and you have to learn to deal with that. And that's what part of the problem is of having to deal with things that aren't going right. And it's a really hard thing, I think, personally myself, for younger people because they want instant gratitude. And and if you're coaching basketball, sometimes, man, it don't go that way. And I think we all know that. You know that. Whoever's, watching the Zoom call knows that has some experience. Um, yeah, it's I just think there's something about a little bit of failure is okay. A little bit of humility, being humble is okay. So
Those are great things. There's a lot to be said for those coaches who do come up the ladder in what I call the
yes,
right way, who understand those things much more so than people who jump right into the fire without having that experience. And also, and you hit the nail on the head, those people understand a lot better on how to control who they listen to and who they don't listen to. Because everybody knows when you are a coach, no matter where you're coaching or what level you're coaching, you're going to have some people who want to make it about them in the stands, and they're going to do that by being vocal and being negative. Rick, I was just at a sectional game for one of my old assistant coaches who's now a head coach, and they got upset in the sectional. I guess it would be an upset. They were a lower seed, but they'd beat this team in the
yeah.
regular season, and with about 3 minutes to go in the fourth, it's always the guy with his hat on backwards, and it's always the guy with an Ohio State hat.
Being
And
a Michigan guy, I'm
right.
not surprised. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, I know what you're saying. And this guy is screaming at the coach while his own children, who I'm going to say are third grade and lower, maybe fourth grade, three children sitting directly in front of him. He's going to act this way. Those people who start off coaching at junior high level and work their way up know a lot more about how to handle those people because they understand those people are not ever capable of saying anything positive.
Derek, man, you are so spot on that, and it's obviously, being an educator, you know that tenfold, but man, is that spot on, and you know, there there's just so much, and I don't want to use the word anger, but there's just so much um, negativity towards coaches that man, they're not there to make a buck. There's a lot of really good young coaches and a lot of really good young coaches that are freshmen and JV coaches that will be good varsity coaches. We all know that. There's always been steps that you follow through, but man, the patience nowadays with people is it's not there, and the trustworthy is as long as you're teaching your kids the game and the game of life, trust what's going on with your coach, and um, sometimes it doesn't go right, and sometimes it does, and you have to deal with it.
Exactly. It's nothing more, in my estimation, than jealousy. They are
Yes.
jealousy. They're jealous that the spotlight is not on them. They can't handle it. They can't handle the fact that they are not the source of attention. So they combat that by trying like heck to make themselves the source of attention. And what they ultimately want to do, they want to create a cesspool of negativity because they cannot tolerate not being focal point. What you see eventually is the people who are not negative and the people who understand that it is in vogue. You watch ESPN, you look at social media, you look at all these avenues now where we have more than ever of coverage for athletics, and it is in vogue to hate on coaches. Most certainly. But you still see these people who understand that this guy is spending an inordinate amount of time with these kids for pennies on the hour to
Right.
work with and he's doing it because he or she loves it and wants to make a positive impact on these kids' lives. And these people who are over there, the naysayers, the whatever you want to call them, I have a lot of different words for them, but
It's a family show, so I
it
understand.
is. It is. But they are the people who ultimately can't handle not being the source of attention. What they end up creating is they let it, I guess here's the best way to say it. They let it be known that they are complete morons.
Um, in so many words, you're 100% correct. And for those young coaches that do come through, and sometimes I think administrators or whoever's making those hires sometimes don't have much of a choice because of who's applying for the job or that situation. So they're put in a situation maybe that is they're not ready for. So that's where at Flat Rock I'm, even though I have a ton of experience and been doing it for a long time, where I'm fortunate, I have great superintendent, great principal, AD, associate AD. So I'm one of those guys that I have great people around me. My assistant coaches are awesome. And sometimes, even though that young guy might be the right guy and he's kind of going about the wrong way, sometimes might not have that um, support. And which that's huge too. If you're hiring that job, you would certainly hope that your administration's 100% behind you. Where I'm at, man, Derek, there will be people dying to coach where I'm at because of the support I have and our success we've had in the last 8 years has been, as good as any program in our area. So,
You're exactly right on the success aspect of what you just said, and when you speak about admin.
Danny's Cafe, located in beautiful Rossford, Ohio, is the ultimate pre- and post-game location. RBCN is a supporter of small businesses, and Danny's Cafe is one of our favorites. The University of Findlay basketball legend Brad Morrison has created an establishment that not only offers the best food in Northwest Ohio, but also the best environment to watch and support your favorite high school, college, and professional teams. The only place I've ever seen with more flat screen TVs is Costco. Plus, the service at Danny's is unreal. If you're looking for a clean, friendly, and upbeat place to hang out and enjoy life for a while, check out Danny's Cafe, located directly across the street from Rossford High School.
Here's the thing with admin. You've got two camps when it comes to modern administration. And I coached for 27 years.
right.
And have been in two different states as a head basketball coach and have been in about every aura of school-based athletics, rural, private, suburbia, inner city, whatever. But you've got two camps of admin. You've got one camp of admin who they believe we hired you. Now it's our job to help you be successful. Your second camp of admin is don't do anything, win too much, or do anything to draw too much attention to yourself because now I'm going to get phone calls and we're going to have people who are upset because you cut somebody. And I don't want to deal with athletics. I want to sit in my office, but don't generate negative phone calls to us because if that's the case, it's really easy for me to hire a new coach. And they don't care if they have a tilt-a-wheel of coaches because they don't understand athletics.
Right.
They have no concept of how school-based athletics work. The problem we have now in school-based athletics, those administrators who want to be supportive, and again, their mantra is, we hired you, we had a thorough vetting during the interview process, and we, along with the Board of Education, agreed that you are the person for the job. Now it's our
Mm-hmm.
job to help you be successful. Those places are becoming harder and harder to find.
Yeah, I think we've all been around where we've heard horror stories and, why this coach has been let go and this hasn't. And I, I hear it, and some of them have been friends, some of them have been just coaches I've known. And man, that's where I just, knock on wood, that pretty fortunate that, I'm in a spot I'm in. And, if you're a young coach, man, all you can do is just try to do the right thing all the time. Even though it might cost you a win or a loss, you just gotta do the right thing. And if your administrator's not behind you, then you know what? That's not the place you should be.
My wife and I went to a game here. We live in Bowling Green, Ohio, and we've become big supporters of the Bowling Green boys and girls basketball teams. One of the boys' games we went to, a group of dads, it was some kind of family thing. I don't know what it was, but they started barking at the coach. Well, Bowling Green's principal walked over to them and said something. Well, the answer he got from the malcontents wasn't what he expected, so he just had the county sheriffs who were there monitoring the game escort them out.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Okay, so that sends a loud message right there that you're not going to talk to my coach that way.
Yeah, but
And
that's great support. My goodness, that's good for
ex
him.
Yes. And then at a game at Defiance High School, a person again in the front row barking at the coach. Well, Jerry Beauty, their AD, who's been around a long time and is a fantastic guy and also one of the better football coaches we've had in Northwest Ohio in a long time. He walks over. He doesn't get the answer he expects. And what does he do? Here come the sheriffs, and they escort this person out of the gym. And my wife and I are on the way home are, from both of these instances why isn't that common practice? Because it's that easy.
Yeah, doesn't it seem like the simple thing is hard? Like you're disrespecting and you're yelling out at somebody that
Just
is
helping
doing the best
kids.
they can.
They're
If
helping
they're not,
kids.
yeah, like, are you, are you MFing your kids, or, like, I'm assuming those coaches aren't,
No,
because
far
they're
from it.
they're in the gym. They're not going to do those things. You're assuming, and, you're treating kids with respect, and yet you're going to just constantly yell at a coach. And God, why be so judgmental? It's like, why, should I come to work and, like, hey man, you didn't do what you did, so I should, start taunting you? It's like the Ted Lasso. I think we all probably have watched Ted Lasso. It's like, you know, why are we so judgmental and not curious, at
It's the
times?
same with officials. People,
Yeah.
one of the things Michigan and Ohio do have in common for two states that don't necessarily like each other
Right.
is we are both in a massive crunch for officials. The schools who have an AD where you've got a group of parents who are barking at officials and all of a sudden they get escorted out. Here's what happens. Every official wants to work in that school. They want to work at those games, but then you go to these other schools where it's tolerated. It's tolerated. Well, you know as well as I do, coach, anything in our line of work that is tolerated is encouraged. If you're not going to put a stop to it, you are basically encouraging it. And now officials don't want to work there. And so what they end up getting are young officials who are just happy to get a varsity game. And
Right.
then
Or the old guy that's been doing it for way too long.
right, exactly. Because the good
Correct.
officials, the best officials we have, could do a lot of other things besides officiating to make money on the side. They're doing
Uh,
it because they love the game and they want to help kids.
yeah, I think most officials are 100%. I think they're all in it for that reason, and they just want to be a part of basketball. And so they chose to go, like we chose to go coaching wise. Where, we're younger, and maybe we could have went to the officiating side and be a part of the basketball, this great sport of basketball that we're involved with. And, man, it's I get people. I'm very fortunate again that, I get guys that want to work our games. Our signer, Joe McCormick, he goes, man, guys sign up to want to do our games because our kids treat it right. Our parents, for the most part, are pretty good. There's always an issue, right?
Right.
But it's human nature. But man, the way that the world is now, it's just, man, there's anger towards officials, and they just want to coach or officiate the game, and they should just let the coaches handle the officials, and it will be a lot easier for everybody. And it's a hard thing. It's so hard. It seems simple, but it's really hard.
It is, and they don't have the foresight,
Right.
especially if they've got younger kids in school. What are we going to do when we don't have enough people to officiate? Because people don't think about this. There are a lot of varsity games around every city or every community every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. There's a lot of games. What are we going to do when we don't have enough officials to accommodate all of these games? It's going to put us in a scenario that none of us has ever seen before.
Well, I know here in Michigan, um, you know, we have different leagues. Like my league plays, the Huron League. We play Tuesday, Friday. The girls play Monday, Thursday, and then we have a league which is just kind of right butting up next to us, which is in the downriver area of Michigan, where the boys play Tuesday, Thursday. Man, how do you get all those officials to be that you're running out of them. You just don't have enough because retirement, tired of getting, complained at and, yelled at and, excuse my French, but bitched at.
Oh, sure.
It's a pandemic here for us. We just don't have. It's getting slowly worse all the time. And from what I hear, we start our district play next week on Monday, and the state assigns the officials. It's not the official signer in
Sure.
our area,
Hmm.
which I'm sure
Right.
all our states do it pretty much the same way. Um, from what I hear, I have guys that have done mostly JV games are going to do our games, which is we're hosting. It's kind of sad, and good Lord, I don't know what else to say about it, but um, why would you want to go in there and even if you increase the pay for the officials, um, just going in and getting complained at and bitched at 3, 4, 5 days a week is not much fun, no matter how much money you make.
You're exactly right. I don't think money is the issue. I think the issue
Agreed.
stands on the officials. Like you said, they want to go work at Flat Rock because your administration is not going to tolerate them getting berated. So that the schools who don't have that support for not only their coaches, but also the officials, they don't want to work there.
Right. And we had an issue where there was actually, and I'm sure Ohio does the same thing. We had um, we at Flat Rock we play a local school called Carlton Airport, and we play for this jug. It's a pretty cool thing, man. It's like the jug, almost like the water jug Michigan and Minnesota play for, and anyways, the girls played the early game, and we actually had two Flat Rock fans that were kind of complaining to the official, and um, they should have just known better. And what happens is our AD goes over and just goes. The official comes over to the AD, going, "Hey, those two need to go." Our guy goes over and just says, "Hey, you two need to go away," and escort him out, and the game finished. And that unfortunately is what administrators don't want to do, officials don't want to do, but we all know that that you got to do those things to set a standard. So when you're walking into those gyms, you know that you need to behave.
Couldn't agree with you more. You hit the nail on the head when you said the word standard. There needs to be a standard of or an expectation of behavior of
Yep.
what will not be tolerated, and here's the consequence. And that's the thing right now in school-based athletics and public school by and large. That is one of the biggest issues with people is where are the consequences for unbecoming behavior?
Yeah, you're 100% right, and I think we're all in agreement with that. And sometimes it's for us to sit here like we're doing and talk about it. I think it's good that we have those things, but in the reality of it, you just hope it doesn't happen, and when it does, you hope that the reaction is a positive thing of taking care of getting those people out of the gym, so it can be an experience, a good experience for whether it's the boys or the girls
That's
playing
what it
that
should
night.
be. That's
Yeah,
what all this was designed to be. So let's talk about,
yeah. Let's move on, man.
yeah, let's
Something
talk
positive.
about Graham Youngie, your all-time leading scorer at Flat Rock High School.
Well, Graham is something special, that's for sure. And he's scored over 1,400 points in his 4 years as a varsity player for us. Geez, even in football, I'll throw the football thing out there. Last year, he threw for 33 touchdowns and like 2,600 yards or something crazy. It was, fun to watch our guys. They were one win away from playing down at Ford Field, so they got to the semifinals. Um, but yeah, being Graham's coach for 4 years has been a great experience. He's smart. He works extremely hard, and I can tell you right now, I know exactly where he's at right now. He's in the gym, and he's going to get up probably about 500 shots tonight before he goes to bed. So that's where he's at right now. I know for a fact. Let me check. Oh yeah, that's exactly where he's at. So that's what Graham does. And then before that, what did Graham do? He was working on his legs. He was lifting. So these are the things that he does 5 days a week. Um, his parents are really supportive. He cooks his own meals like a sirloin steak. He'll make pulled pork. He understands his diet. Again, going back to Graham is he's just the time he puts in on film work and then off outside of practice. And then he's just a great teammate, man. He's so unselfish. Those 1,400 points seems like he shoots the ball a lot. Well, yeah, we need him too, which is great. Why wouldn't you? But the other part is he's really unselfish and leads our team in assists and steals. So his game is so rounded. And he's shooting from the three at a 42% without having to look at the stats in front of me. His free throw percentage is like 87, 88, somewhere in there, but almost 90, I think. But just and he's a 4.0 student and just makes everybody better. Our players, our coaches, our program. The last 4 years has been a lot of fun coaching him.
It's been fun watching him. I also want to make sure we touch on this. He's been 4-year All-State, both in football and basketball in the state of Michigan.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. He's and we're in Monroe County, so they do a Monroe County uh, basketball player of the year, and I'm assuming he would win it just based on the year he's having. And boy, he could have won it last year. He probably could have won it the year before, even as a freshman. But I think they understand, they try to balance that out, and it's all fine. But um, yeah, boy, when you watch him in football, it's amazing because they run the shotgun and just and I go to the games and I stand on the sideline because I love listening to Graham and the head football coach, who's a great guy, does a great job for the football program, Coach Buck. Um, Listening to them have conversation about what the next play is or how they're going to go about it. So I try to get real close without interfering. Well, I don't interfere, but listening and just watching him throw the football to some, just unbelievable, and how smart he is and checking down on plays and those type of things. And then I get him and, he comes in and he has this, what we call the Book of Graham, which I got him one where, he puts in notes and he puts in plays and he goes, Coach, this is a quick hitter I think that we can run. And I really like to do it. And I like, all right, Graham, let's throw it in there. Let's see what we got. And damn, maybe I should just sit back and just let him be a player coach, but
Bill Russell.
yeah, right. But yeah, so, we all are, hopefully we all, that, whoever's listening to our Zoom or, in the now or, whatever, the next day, I hope they have a player like Graham that they can go through and realize how special it is to have an exceptional player that, yes, can score, can shoot it, but just wants to win. And that's the bottom line. And, that's where him and I have a great relationship in, is that's all we want to do. Do we butt heads? Absolutely. I mean, it's all good. I mean, it's out of respect too. And I hope everybody would have a chance to, unless you're in our league, have that chance to, have that opportunity.
Has he narrowed down where he's going to attend university and what sport he's going to play?
No, I still think he's, undecided. I know he went to Lake Erie for a little bit of football visit, and he liked that. He was up in Lake Superior for basketball a couple weeks ago. Wayne State has offered him. Um, Macomb Community College, which, nowadays may be an option because you get that extra 2 year, that 2 years that you can extend. So he has options, and I think he's just trying to weigh them all out with his family, and he knowing Graham, he wants everything down to the detail to make sure that it's right, along with his family. And I'll say this about Graham is, his mom and dad are super supportive, but, Graham's biggest, and I think me and you have talked about it, his biggest supporter is his brother, William. There is nobody more supportive than his brother. And it just goes to show you how the Youngie family has, has rallied behind Graham and the decisions, because even William is right there supporting Graham on everything he does. And it's kind of funny because William actually went to Huron High School, which is just up the street from Flat Rock, which is our rival. Which if anybody from Ohio probably goes, who cares? But it's like Michigan, Ohio State. It's pretty intense. And William went to Huron, so I'm sure Graham, being the brother that he is letting William know that we've had a pretty good run at him. So anyways.
That's great.
This RBCN production is sponsored by Game One and LJ Archambault. Get with LJ for any and all of your program's merch needs. You will not find a more capable, loyal, punctual, and honest sporting goods salesman than LJ Archambault. I can most certainly vouch for Game One and LJ, as I have been a client of theirs for nearly 2 decades. Contact LJ at Game One and you will thank me later. At Game One, it's always game on.
Let's talk about your postseason. Let's start off with the where, when, and who do you start off with?
Well, Derek, finally, the Michigan High School Athletic Association, the governing body that we all try to support tongue in cheek, in my, finally the last 8 years, we get to host. My ADs, my associate AD and my athletic director have put in for this district, and we finally get to host. And I will leave it at that. Those bastards. No, I'm just kidding.
I get it.
It's been, there's stories on that, but we're finally hosting, and we're super excited about that. In our district, we are playing. We have 3 teams that are from our league because of where we're at on the southern part of, or the northern part of Monroe County. And then 2 teams from the Lenawee County Athletic Association. So those are 2 solid teams. They're probably not having the best season they are. That's Ida High School and Dundee High School. And we play the winner of that. Those 2 schools play tomorrow at 5:30. And then we play them at 7 o'clock, the winner of that game at 7 o'clock on Wednesday. And then Monroe Jefferson and Airport play that 7 o'clock game. Now in our district, we've beaten all those teams. Huron got us early in the year. We had some injuries on that, where Cyrus was out, and we beat them the last time and played pretty well. Are we the best team in that district? Absolutely, no question about it. I mean, we have 14 wins. I think the next closest one has 10 wins, and we've played a really tough schedule where those teams haven't played that. But as we all know, when it gets to district play, it's our district. You just don't know. And hopefully, if we can play to our potential, we could be in the district final on Friday, and hopefully we were able to advance. I know our guys are pretty confident, but cautious.
As they should be. That's the mindset our players have to have, as coaches have to have in postseason play. Looking at your season, the toughest team you had to play was your last opponent?
Oh, Jesus. Thanks, Derek. I was having a good day. Well, River Rouge.
Are they in a different division?
Yeah, they're Division 1.
Good for you.
So, yeah, so, and we've done that. I mean, since, we've always played up in our non-league as best as we could. River Rouge has won, and back in, a little hindsight on that, they've won 12 or 14, I can't remember the number, state championships. So they're a powerhouse. Last year, they got to the quarterfinals. We played them earlier in the year, lost by 4, I think it was, at our place. And then their coach was willing to play us again, which we owed him, a return trip. And then he goes, "Hey, you want to do another game?" And we played at our place, and unfortunately, we weren't very good on Friday, but it was really good for us because we will not see that speed next week and that length and that athleticism that River Rouge has. They are really good. Um, Again, playing that game, we were setting ourselves up because we thought we would head north where there's tougher teams in our district that we've lost to Summit Academy, unfortunately, the last 4 years in the district final because they're just loaded. I mean, loaded. They've been ranked in our um, in Division II, top five overall in the entire state, all four divisions. They've been top 15. So that's why we set up River Rouge that last game. But it doesn't matter. We look as it as a learning step, and hopefully, like today, we had a great practice, and hopefully, we carry that over the next 2 days for Wednesday night.
That's good stuff. I like the fact that you're willing to go out and play somebody so your kids can experience a different caliber of speed from baseline to baseline.
Yeah, I am. When I was a younger coach, we played in a really difficult league, uh, and I try to tell our guys now. I go, man, there's guys that I coached against that went on to play college ball and played baseball, Major League Baseball. Derek Lowe, I don't know if that remembers. If you're a baseball guy, Derek Lowe. Dang, man, I saw that kid for 4 years. I mean, oh my God, he couldn't graduate fast enough. And Lorenzo Gass, who went to Michigan State, who is, I believe, an athletic trainer or a part of the athletic program there. Um, Mike Garland, who was Tom Izzo's assistant, was the coach at Belleville, who I coached against for 4 years. And good Lord, man, that's when I was a young coach and thought I knew it all. And it was very humbling, very, very humbling. And, I learned a lot from that um, there's some really good people out there that know what's going on. And today's kids sometimes don't realize that how good um, some of the teams that we played, back in the day. But
Well,
anyways,
I agree 100% with you on that. If you make it to your district final game on Friday, you're probably going to get a phone call from me asking for a spot on that pass list for two people.
well, you would be, we would. Well, probably the only thing I don't know if this Zoom call is if we can say this or not, but yeah, you would just have to buy me a beer.
Oh, I can do that at the drop of a hat. I mean, at a drop of a hat. That's something that you and I have never failed at making happen.
No, we haven't. We're pretty good at that. I mean, you're a lot bigger than me, but I don't try to keep up. I just try to maintain.
There's a lot to be said from just sitting down in a non-threatening environment and just talking basketball and having a good
But
time. And
buddy, I'm again, it's like me doing it as long as I have, and I don't want to keep bringing that up, but uh, these are the things that I try to tell our guys that the wins and losses are great, and as the older you get, they start to they start to kind of go away, but what you've built is relationships.
we're also really good at drawing on napkins.
A
You and
hundred
I have
percent.
have
I
drawn a lot of things on napkins, and that's one of the things I enjoy more than anything every time I get to sit down with you.
Oh my God, I love it. And I have a really good friend of mine that, we love Michigan football and basketball, and we always hook up and go to Buffalo Wild Wings and watch the games and try to analyze everything and probably over to the top. But man, those uh, hand wipes they're they're not just hand wipes. They're the 1 man, they're 2 man, 3 man, 4 man, and five
Absolutely.
man. You got those things moving around like crazy, and
The salt
so those
shaker, the
are
pepper
those
shaker.
yeah, exactly. And those are the things that you know people don't understand. They probably do, but they don't realize what the relationships of those things, little things are in our own little world of enjoying talking X's and O's. It's a beautiful thing.
I couldn't agree more. Coach, I can't thank you enough for joining us on a Sunday evening, right in the midst of your preparation for your postseason play. It goes without saying, you know, that I wish you and the Flat Rock Rams nothing but positive thoughts and Godspeed, and take it to the bank. Unless something unforeseen happens, expect a text or a call or an email from me in regards to Friday, and I surely hope that that comes to fruition.
Well, we certainly hope to. And, Derek, I've said this numerous times. One is your wife, Stephanie, is awesome and very, you've out, she can shoot the three, you can't.
Correct.
But, yeah, but no, thanks for what you do. And man, you're a great ambassador for the game of basketball. And I think the things that you do right now that take your time in the afternoon away from your lovely wife to sit here and talk with me is greatly appreciated. And the things you do for the game of basketball um, is really awesome.
Well,
And I truly mean that.
I appreciate that. Coming from a future Hall of Famer such as
Uh,
yourself, I
I'm
do
not sure.
appreciate it. It's like when I talk to my buddy Tom Johnson or some of the other guys, they hate it when I say that. But here's the deal. I can't say that to everybody. Guys like you are, it's almost a point of embarrassment for you guys, the level of success you've had and all the accolades you've received. But what people sometimes fail to realize is those things don't happen to every coach. It's a really unique person who gets to experience all the success that you've experienced, all the accolades you've experienced.
I appreciate you saying that, but honestly, man, those other guys, I'm sure we probably would get along really well because it's not about us, man. It's about
Right.
what we do and coaching the game and trying to teach our kids the game the right way, the best we can, and make sure our kids compete the right way and represent their school the right way, their family the right way, themselves the right way. And if you do those things, you know what? Probably everything else falls in line. And um, Derek, Hall of Fame in my name. Honestly, man, I appreciate it. All I know is my dog Stogie, who saw a
Yeah.
little bit. I'm probably the Hall of Fame in his life, which, you know what? I'm good with that.
Well, that's all you need.
Yeah. Right.
Coach, thanks again. Godspeed.
Oh,
You
no, we
play
play Wednesday. We play
Wednesday and then
Wednesday.
Friday if you win, which
Right.
I certainly hope happens. And if you need anything for the love of Pete, you know who to contact. I will do anything I can for you. I look forward to contacting you. I hope like heck I get to see you play on Friday.
Well, I look forward to it. I'll buy the first round.
Oh, I'm in.
All right, buddy.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Take care. Stay out of trouble.
Will do. See
All
you,
right.
buddy.
Bye bye.